In this video, we are going to talk about Toncoin, some of its recent price action, the important support and resistance areas, and where we can expect the price of Ton to go in the next few days and weeks. So we'll look at the weekly chart, and what you can see right here is that Ton in recent months since late 2025 has very clearly broken down below this crucial support area, this trend line that it held for many years since all the way back in 2021. So this breakdown below this trend line is a very crucial negative sign for Toncoin, of course, and really Ton has been dumping very aggressively since 2024. Since about June of 2024, Ton went down over 80%, about 85%, and it is now sitting at around $1.3. Really, Ton has been performing very poorly, even when the crypto market as a whole was doing very well and Bitcoin was creating new all-time highs. Ton was actually just dumping the entire time, basically. And recently, since October, when we've seen Bitcoin drop from its all-time high of about 126k all the way down to about 60k recently, Ton has been performing very poorly. Obviously, following that, recently we've seen Ton actually get a consolidation. This is something that we've seen with many other altcoins as well. Recently, with Bitcoin getting a relief rally from about 60k to over 75k. Most altcoins haven't quite followed it and lagged a lot behind Bitcoin, but at the very least, most of them have been consolidating and the dump has been slowing down. We can see this on the chart of Ton as well. Also, the area of $1.25 where Ton is at right now is an area of support where we've seen Ton get a rally from in the past, back in 2023. Last time when Ton was at this area, it actually got a very significant rally and it led to it getting a rally of over 500, nearly 600%. So can Ton get a similar rally this time now that it's back at this level? Well, in my opinion, the answer is most likely not. I think that the conditions in the crypto market are completely different to where they were back in 2023, back when Ton got that rally. We are still most likely in a bear market. The structure of Ton is still very clearly a downtrend. I don't really see any signs of a trend reversal right here. Despite Bitcoin actually doing quite well recently and getting a relief rally, I still think that it's most likely a counter trend rally and that it will eventually continue to dump further in the next few months, and that we are in a bear market still. And also in general with altcoins, I'm not too optimistic about most of them. I think that we don't really have a chance of getting an altcoin season until we see Bitcoin doing a lot better, at the very least approaching new all-time highs and probably even crossing into new all-time highs, and Ethereum following it and crossing above 5k as well. This is something that I've mentioned in videos a long time ago, back when Bitcoin and Ethereum were a lot closer to the all-time highs, but it's still the condition, in my opinion, for an altcoin season. And right now, with Ethereum being in the low 2000s, this is a very far away scenario for Ethereum to cross 5k. This is something that will likely only happen in a very long time, in many months at the very least. So I'm not optimistic about altcoins in general, and specifically with Toncoin, the structure is looking absolutely horrible. I don't really see any significant support areas, and with Toncoin specifically, the price structure is looking absolutely horrible. It is still very clearly in a downtrend. I don't see it reacting that well to the support area, and Bitcoin getting a very significant rally recently. We would expect this combination of Toncoin hitting a support area, as well as Bitcoin and most of the crypto market getting some relief in recent weeks, to lead to Toncoin to getting a relief rally as well. But really all it did was get some consolidation. It got some very minor rallies and then quickly dumped back down. So I really don't like what I'm seeing on the chart of Toncoin at all. Of course, this isn't financial advice whatsoever, but I would personally avoid being heavy into altcoins in general at the moment and only pick a few altcoins to be into very selectively and in pretty small amounts. Toncoin is definitely not one of them in my opinion at the moment. I don't like what I'm seeing. For me to even consider Toncoin, I would first want to see it starting to create a trend reversal and creating higher highs and higher lows, and probably crossing this area of $1.9. This is the previous high. If it does cross above it, then this would be a first sign of a trend reversal, but even then it would need to face this crucial resistance area of the trend line, which is at around $2.3 at the moment. If it does actually do all of that and cross the trend line, that would completely change the picture, and then I would be a lot more optimistic about Toncoin. But this is still pretty far away. This would be a rally of nearly 2x from where Ton is at right now, and I think that with the current conditions in the crypto market and with Ton specifically, this scenario does not seem very likely to me, and as I said, I would avoid Ton for now. Of course, I will keep making more videos about Ton as things unfold, and if it does actually cross this trend line, I will make sure to update you guys on what I'm thinking in real time, so make sure to subscribe to not miss that out. But really, I think that with most altcoins, we might have some opportunities here and there, but we are not gonna see sustainable long-term rallies for a very long time now. Since we are still in a bear market, things will be very different once we start being back in a bull market and Bitcoin gets significant rallies. But at the moment, despite the recent rally by Bitcoin, I am still pretty pessimistic, and I don't think that it's the time to be bullish. Definitely not with most altcoins. I've covered some other altcoins on the channel recently that do have a better structure, so make sure to check out my other videos on the channel to see what other altcoins I actually like and have a much better structure, but Ton is not one of them. So yeah guys, that's going to be it for this video. Of course, none of what I said in this video is financial advice. If you enjoyed it and you want more updates about Ton as well as other altcoins, make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.